Hello, hello. We doing it? We are we live? Are we streaming? Are people here? Am I here? Existential question. What what even is here? Quacko, hello. Matthias, hello. I make zero promises. The existential dread is awaiting us all. It's around every corner. Pontus, hello. Could be that. Could be that sweet malware I've been slowly distributing to everyone via the micro game, where it's just my face pops up on your screen. It's impossible to say. What is me? World, hello. AC, hello. Harand with a geological hot take. I like it. Secret geologist. But yeah, we'll do some C++ today. It'll be fine. It'll be good. Ah, there you go. I was missing your usual greeting. Yeah, we'll do some C++ today. It'll be fun. Well, I don't know. Fun it's tenuous when it comes to C++. It will be very existential today. What we do today will be what we do today. New video recently. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it. I will encourage everyone to go watch it. I am wearing a fresh, brand new out of the packet white shirt, so can only be good today. I want to do. It's been a long week, which we are now ending at on a Sunday. And those post-stream beers are in sight. Red text editor theme. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. I wish you all the best, but I cannot abide. I'm gonna press a button, probably this one. Nice. Okay, nailed it. So I think today, let's just check everything still works. But I think I want to finish off the physics today, or at least make some headway towards it. We had quite a productive stream last time. We fixed some bugs, we got some things working. That seems loud on my end. I don't know what about you guys. Lower that a little bit. The problem is because I've locked the mouse off, I can't adjust it midstream, so we'll try that. Apologies for the ear bleed. BM Julian, resubbed for 6 months, thank you very much. Consensus is too loud. What I've just discovered is that it will accept any key to continue, and any key includes me turning the dial on the Stream Deck. So if I turn the dial on the Stream Deck, we start. Isn't that fun and exciting for everyone? Okay, so I think today I want us to be able to like not do this. I think not doing this would be a great feature for the game. In fact, I'd also like to not do this. Sit in this little cage here of existential dread. So plan today is to start worrying about some physics. How's the audio, background audio now? Is it palatable over my dulcet tones? It's looking a lot better now. Like, it's not great, but like the texture's looking better. We got some bitmaps. We got fine on Twitch. Okay, so my initial plan is to slap a capsule shape on the player. Skybox is fixed too. Well, I think actually we broke the Skybox and then fixed it, because I don't think the way we set up the Skybox wasn't conducive to MIPS and or maps and the filtering. So I can't. What was it? I think it was the sampler. It didn't like having a MIP map. It didn't like the Skybox didn't like having this sampler of GL linear MIP map and GL linear for the min mag filter. So we had to basically add this tiny little abstraction over the top, which allows our sampler object to actually be a little bit smarter, and for you to define what is now we have as a filter type to it for the min and the mag, and the number of anisotropy filters, samples, whatever. I think we came to a conclusion it was samples. And then this allowed us to have the customization we needed to make the whole thing kind of blend together. So my plan, such that it is, I never really have one, is to slap a capsule shape on the player. That shouldn't be too hard, because I believe he says, oh, do we not already have a capsule shape? That is upset. I thought we had a capsule shape. I seem to remember doing this when we first integrated Jolt. A cylinder shape. Did we not have a... Did we... Tut, tut, tut. Okay, fine. Add a capsule shape. Anyway, we'll add a capsule shape because I'm pretty sure that's a built-in Jolt primitive. So we'll do some boilerplate on that, add that in, slap that on the player, get that moving around. We're going to go for the kinesthetic character controller, basically where we do all the work for us rather than relying on impulses. So we will just translate the player. Did we have a... Oh, we did. Ah, here we go. Here we go. We had a character controller already. Kinematic. So we're going to try and resurrect some of this. So I've already gone to some work of creating a basic character controller before. I think we'll just resurrect this. It does have set linear velocity, which is a little bit annoying. I suspect we might not need this. What I want to do is slap a capsule shape on the player, and then when we press a key to move, project that forward, see if it intersects with the static geometry, and if it does, we'll basically back out the movement. I think that might be okay. I don't think we're going to get stuck doing that. And then part 2 of my master plan is to try and just convert the level geometry into some sort of custom geometry shape within Jolt. I've done it with Bullet. Bullet, you can give it a triangle mesh, and then it will compute a per triangle intersection object around that, but it'll also be clever enough to do a reasonably efficient broad phase before it hits the narrow phase. I'm hoping Jolt is going to do the same. Ideally, I really don't want to be faffing around setting up additional collision primitives within the geometry. I just want to say, look, this is what the geometry looks like. This is the scale. This is the position. Go. So we'll see. I'm wondering if I'm worried that this is not good. And why did we do this before? So we can check if we have a contact, which is fine. I just don't know why we did it with set linear velocity. It was for colliding with barrels, and it did work, didn't it? So I wonder if we just set... can we just set this to the player's velocity then? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. So how does player work? Player does calculate a velocity. Porn Theory, resub for 9 months. Thank you very much. So if I remember correctly, I think now the physics system is kind of a global, not global step, a piece of state that is created once at the beginning of the game, and then the schedulers optionally have access to it. So the level routine does a thing with it. So this should be able to just pass it on to the player, and then from that we should be able to create the character controller. So there's going to be a little bit of jumping around code today because it's been a while since I've looked at the physics stuff. We spent quite a few streams building this out. I think I made everything. I think I made the physics system effectively a factory for all of the primitives, so you can only create them through that. So no, that's it. Now I remember, the physics system has but a single character controller automatically created for you. Excuse me, I'm having too much fun. Let's look at the... Wow, this really is a deep dive into small code. Oof, just all the Jolt headers, every single one. Not a single one left, unincluded. Blah, 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 blah. We create a character controller. Interesting. Okay. So does that have like an initial position? It's got the debug renderer, which I think should already be hooked up for us. Oh my goodness, we are hype training on Twitch. Mysterious resub for 6 months. Everyone's decided to resub right now. Thank you very much. Whether you intended to do it or not, here we are. Carl, hello. I didn't see you there. Glad you're here. Apologies. I'm hoping this makes more sense to you, Carl, than it does to me. I've got some bits. It's exciting. Thank you very much. There's a lot of, I guess, monetary incentives flying in for, and I've not really done anything yet. Like so far I've struggled to understand my own code, but I appreciate the support. And thank you very much. Right, what am I doing with my life? Where does the character controller spawn? Like where? It's got standing height, yes. It's got the radius. It's got a temporary allocator with some numbers in it, obviously needed. Got a quat identity. Rotated, translated shape settings. One of my favorites. I'm going to assume this tries to spawn it at the origin, which I think I am anyway. Let's just actually no. So here's I've noticed something of concern. Queco with some more bits. Thank you very much. We are at the level 2 train. I don't really understand Twitch, but I assume 2 being an integer greater than 1 is better. I can't remember how any of this works, which is a little bit sad. We have a character controller created for us. That is non-negotiable. When we create the physics system, we get the character controller. Why is that not giving us any debug lines? Why am I not? Do you see what does that make sense? I would assume that I would just implicitly have. So why am I not? Oh, do I have to wire in the debug renderer into the... I need to get the lines and stick those in the scene. Into the debug lines. Yeah, JPH is the Jolt physics namespace. Oh, lots of stuff going on. Carl, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Very kind of you. The H stands for namespace. Yep. I will. I'll be having several beers after this as I continue on my next video project, which is proving to be quite a headache. Aaron's been he's got the freebies twice. He had one on YouTube as well. That's why he logs into both to maximize his chance of the freebies, which I think is absolutely fair, and everyone should always watch on multiple platforms on multiple devices at the same time. Really boost those numbers up. I've thought about doing more stuff on like my setup. I just don't know how interesting that kind of is. It doesn't really fit in like, which I guess is kind of really terrible, like really rubbish YouTube creator view of things. But it's, I don't know, it doesn't really fit in line with the rest of the stuff I do. That doesn't necessarily mean I shouldn't do it, but I have no plans at the moment to do it. Feel free to come onto Discord and just ask me questions, and I'll help you. You know, I can show you a little bit about my setup there, maybe. This is true. Yes, right. I take it back. Harand has been paying. Very kind of you all. I really do appreciate it. It's very nice. Oh right. Okay. So where am I going to do this? Unfortunately, I may be slightly hoisted by my own petard here, because prior to this, in our old main loop, we just shoved the debug lines from the physics system into the scene, which then caused the renderer to pick them up. So if I go to the renderer, any debug lines get rendered for us. So where am I going to re-stick that? Maybe in the level, because it's probably the last thing using the physics system. That just reminds me of the Monty Python bit. It's like, you're king because some woman in a lake threw a sword at you. Thank you, Carl. Much appreciated. I don't know if I'd make a good ruler. Right, okay. I need to re-inject some code somewhere that always copies the physics system debug information over to the renderer. I only really want to do it once, and it probably should be just before the renderer starts. However, I don't want it to be in the renderer routine, because I feel that's kind of quite pure at the moment. I think it probably will be in the level routine. It's maybe not the... Actually, no, I think the level routine does make sense, because it means any other routines which have a scene that get rendered then won't have their debug line, so we won't have a random capsule in the menu. So let's look for its update loop, which is here. So state machine, blah 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 blah, blah. At the entity set visibility, blah 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 blah. Here, just before it deschedules itself, I think it should do scene dot no scene. Level dot scene. Okay, fine. Obviously. Dot debug lines dot what is that? Is this where else do we set this then? Do we already... no, it's all native coroutines. I did all the code myself. Wow, AC, thank you very much. How very kind of you. That is quite the donation. Yeah, they're all native coroutines. I have a code, like a task, which just does coroutine things. It's really not that. It's pretty standard coroutine things. Right, okay, where do I currently set the debug lines then? Main menu sets it there. Here. Oh, Hey? I do already... Oh, curiouser and curiouser. Oh, because don't we use Jolt for the AABB primitives rather than rolling our own? Isn't that why we had to inject the physics system all the way, drill it all the way down into the level code? Clear the thing. Yes, here we go. So why is it not rendering a capsule then? I'm very confused because according to my interpretation of the terrible code that I've written, we are guaranteed to have a character controller. Said character controller automatically creates Oh, do I just need to call debug draw on it? No, because that can only be called from the physics system. Oh, wow, this is getting deep. When I update the physics engine, do I never call update on the physics engine since I've just been using it for collisions? Oh. No, because we have the debug lines because you can see them around the barrels. I don't think we call physics system update anymore. Player update. So I think this then needs to be a new routine, so we can call it at a fixed rate. Right. So we have all these routines. I think we need another one for the physics engine, and then because of the way we've written the coroutines, we can schedule that on a timer rather than a frame counter, which means it is then running at a fixed rate, which is what you probably want for physics. Sound good? Or am I just chatting crap? I think I'm going to go for it. In and out. New routine. Super quick. 20 minutes. Source game routines physics routine. That sounds normal. A lot of what I do is not necessarily normal though. But what's a good? I think the main menu routine. No, what's a good routine to crib from? Input routine. Physics. All that seems pretty cromulent. I have a hype chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'm going to open it. It's got a small frog inside of it. I don't really understand Twitch. Share. Nailed it. Okay, so we need to create task. This doesn't need access to the window, but it does need access to the physics system. So physics system, it does need access to the bus and the scheduler, only because the base routine needs access to the bus. Get rid of that. Get out of here. Physics. Yes. And then we'll have a treat ourselves to a const physics system. Yes. Okay, that is easy peasy lemon squeezy. I don't know. I literally don't understand Twitch. I just shut up and talk. Okay. I guess we want more emotes. I guess they will look like they have some semantic meaning, I think. I like the cat with the wine glass. That speaks to me. Okay, right. I think we're about 10 emotes away from me disabling them, but we'll see how that goes. I think we're all poshers somewhere. I see. Source game routines, physics routines, CPP. I have one of those. Give one of these, one of those. Game routines, physics routine, namespace, game. And then I'm gonna have one of these. And then that'll have a routine. What does that take when it's at home? I think it takes the bus and a scheduler, and then like an empty set of things I want to subscribe to, like messages I care about. I think I should probably speak with a little bit more confidence about the code I've written. I don't think it takes a schedule, actually, thinking about it. No, it's just a message bus and the types, which makes sense. Why would the base routine need to care about that? Why is that being angry? Whatever. Okay, and then for the three-piece Mr. Blobby emote is a game changer, something that YouTube can't quite compete with. Okay, well now that's drowning out the chat. I'll try and keep an eye on it. I am slightly scarred by Mr. Blobby. I mean, I think most people my age probably are. Create task. Where's the main menu one? That's an interesting one to crib from. So we want while the state isn't where does the game state live? Physics. Let's have some includes here. We're gonna want the physics system. We're gonna want the messaging message bus. We're gonna want the scheduling. Is it under schedule? Wow, whatever that is, I don't sure do not want that. Scheduler, and then game state. Nailed it. So whilst the game is not exiting, So this is what this is how the coroutine works. It basically says whilst the game isn't in the exiting state, because the game has several top level states. So basically, while it is running, then update, reschedule ourselves in 16 milliseconds time. 16 milliseconds being how long the physics system internally will update its delta by. So it means we can basically run on a fixed cadence, and then things like the renderer can just run as fast as possible. That being said, I do wonder if we might want to change this to just be. I do. Wonder if there's no point updating the physics system. Dominic, hello. There's no point updating the physics system until we're actually running the games. The states like the pause screen and the states like definitely the pause screen actually, and the states like the main menu, there's no point running the physics. So what we can basically saying is, whilst we're not in the running state, just deschedule ourselves until we're in the running state, and then update ourselves on this cadence. So every time we come back round, if the state has changed, we just basically pause ourselves until the state is what we want. Carl, I will take your word for it, but thank you for that delightful insight into your life. Faris, hello. Glad you're here. Thank you for the suggestions. I would say the best thing to do is if you can, take those suggestions to Discord. There is a channel for video suggestions. Put it in there with as much details as you can, and I will do my best with zero promises. My usual weasel words are, I do actually look at every suggestion. I cannot provide any guarantee if and or when I'll get round to it. However, we're slowly building up quite a we're building up like a really great community of people who are interested in this kind of thing. So you might find that someone else can provide you some insight, or maybe something you've overlooked, or something like that. So yeah, that'll be my suggestions. If someone could post the Discord link, that would be greatly appreciated. Right, so now we should be able to do ps dot. What? Why can't I not update the? Is it because it's a const ref? Yeah, that'd be why. Fool of a took. Right, now we can call update. Okay. All these weird red lines will go away when I update my terrible tooling. Let's go source CMake. No, let's not do that. Let's go to routine CMake and then add a physics routine.cp. And then game, and then right to the top into our routines, we'll do physics. Then we'll add a auto physics routine equals physics routine, and that'll take the PS and the boost and the scheduler. And then I'm sure there's like a canonical order you should do these things in. That's true. If you have a sub, there's extra rooms on the Discord, and two, I think. It's one called video suggestions. We're also looking at maybe turning some of the, because there's quite a backlog now, and I can at best probably do 12 a year if I can do one a month. We are looking at maybe turning some of them into community challenges, so to get encourage other people to look at some of those as well. Yeah, I think I probably want to do input first, and then like that. I definitely want renderer last. Let's just build it and see what happens. It's got the my build system has the internal sadness. Right. Oh, Mariam, also with a resub. Much appreciated. Ah. What? Hash include scheduler wait. Probably want one of those. Steel's getting worse all the time. Nope. Using namespace stirred literals. Huckley, it looks pretty shit, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Hopefully it'll run in a minute and you'll see and hear for yourself what 9 months of C++ and OpenGL gets you. 9 months-ish, I think. Okay. So hopefully there is no, as we spin around, there is no character controller here. But if I start the game, there is also no character controller. Interesting. Not ideal. Not what I would have hoped for. I was hoping to see a character controller, the capsule somewhere, because I'm pretty sure we spawn at the origin, so it should be around here. I suppose I could just disable loading everything else to check. 10 months. 10 months, and I've just about managed to print an emoji poo in the top left-hand corner. Might be under level, yeah. See, look, we've got the... So this is already going via the debug renderer, as far as I can tell. I'm not clearing it, am I, in order to put those there? I am. That's annoying. So I call update. So not that I. This is going to get a little bit hairy, I think, until I divine a better way forward. It's the problem when you've got the logic for these debug thing now kind of spread over several different places. There you go. Okay, fine. So that works, but the problem is we are not... Why does that... I was expecting then when that line moved to leave a trail of lines behind because we're not clearing it. Just smack the mic, make sure everyone's still paying attention. I want the renderer to handle drawing it, but I don't want it to handle assembling it, if that makes sense. Hopefully never. Like, I'm really not sure. I'm undecided what I want to do with shadows yet, whether I want to do basic, sort of projection-based shadows or PCFs, or if I just do SSAO and hope for the best. So no, I have no idea because I'm desperately trying to put it off. Yeah, I want to decouple the collecting of the debug lines to the rendering of the debug lines. So the renderer handles this nicely here. Like, if there are debug lines, then render them, and that's basically all the logic I want in the renderer. So in the Lua level, what do? We go through max, whatever max is. and it's IO. It goes through each of the entities, gets the transform shapes, and it draws it with the debug renderer. So this, yeah, okay, that draws it there. I love the auto keyword. No, auto is always compile time. It follows the same type deduction rules as templates, basically. What a great question. How close have I been to quitting? I'd say like about a normal amount for any project of this size. Like I quite often think it's getting difficult. Am I, there's a lot to do. I still feel like I'm a million miles away from the end, but because I stream, like I feel obligated to show up twice a week and make progress. That has kept me motivated through it. And now I'm, all projects have ups and downs. I'm definitely in a sort of fun stage of it at the moment. There's been a few streams I think where I've been maybe gotten a little bit grumpy with not being able to get something to work, but I think we're in a good place now. No, there's no batching really. Everything just kind of gets thrown at the renderer, and the renderer just chugs its way through a list of things. There's no instance rendering or anything like that. Yes, debugging the frost from culling was quite upsetting. Yeah, but it's all part of the project, and I'm doing it all live with everyone, so it's like the highs and the lows are kind of all here for everyone to see. I'm not really sure like what your advantage. So by deleting the copy constructor and assignment operator, and only using the move operators, which may not then be auto-made for you. I'd have to check what the standard says, and having a custom clone method. Like, I feel like that's is that not just a copy constructor with extra steps? Maybe if you have some sort of inheritance, and you want to via the base type create a clone, then you would maybe have that overloaded. But stood indirect type, or no, stood polymorphic type, whatever it is in C++26, will fix that for you. Well, the red light. No, right. Anyway, I'm gassing. I'm what's going on here? So I've got the renderer. I'm rendering those lines to it. I then take those lines and shove them into the scene, so the scene renders it. Is this being cleared? Oh, does update clear this? Was that a bug to have called it there? It does call clear. Okay, so that's fine. So this was a blug. This is a blug. This was a bug. That's nice. Okay, fine. That was easy. Sorry, I put about 10 minutes there to realize I'd done the right thing. No, they're not hints. They are exactly what I expect the return type to be. That's called trailing return types. It was introduced in C++11. I was using this project as an example, as a proving ground to see if I liked that alternative syntax, and I actually quite like it. But it's not necessary. You can drop it off, and then the compiler will figure out what the return type is. And I think in some situations it might promote that function to a template depending on how it deduces the type, but that's a corner case standard that I'd have to like refresh my brain on. Okay, fine. So now what I need to do is just like shove myself here and hope for the best. It's just a simple forward renderer. I would like to do a deferred renderer, but I'm going to save that for the next project. This is just a simple forward, like literally just a for loop with some lights. I see. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think I prefer the rule of 0, where everything is implicitly created for you and it does what you want. And then in the situation where you need one of them, you probably need all 5, and then you implement them. Okay, so let's just, I'm gonna comment this up, I think, or commit this up. Sorry, just to don't clear debug renderer in level, and then integrate physics. Okay, nice. So now, if we go to player, I think player wants access to the physics system. Actually, probably just wants access to the character controller. It's like, hey player, here is your. So actually, here's a design question. The player computes a velocity and bases it on that, updates its position. Do I give the player the character controller to basically say, when you calculate the velocity, set it into the controller? Or do I have the player expose a velocity and have that set outside of it? Does the player, is it the player's player object's responsibility to update its physics state? I would say probably yes, because I think we have that in other places. I think the player should be responsible for setting various states. I mean, we could even stick on the message bus, but like that seems like it's a bit unnecessary. So I'm going to go with character controller. There's no point giving the player any more data than it needs. And then we can do character controller. And then in here, this can have a character controller. In fact, because we have the start position, we might even be able to just modify character controller to like reset position or something like that, or set position, and it just snaps to wherever it needs to be. Okay. Character controller, and then character controller, and I think it was the last one, so controller. I've worked on a large C++ 03 project before, so I feel your pain. Okay, so once we calculate the velocity, so yeah, we basically farm out that velocity to the components that need it. So I guess camera has it, and then controller dot sets linear velocity. So I know they're not. So they should now move in sync, but obviously, they won't be quite aligned yet. We can fix that in a minute. Blur. Oh, I probably actually need to pass that in when I construct it. No, convertible types. Cannot physics. Of course. But yeah. Yeah, thank you. We got there in the end. Okay. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. What are you playing at? What? Because even though this update happens after the physics system, it should still be there on the next frame. Is it a scaling issue? Let's find out. I hope not. I really hope not. Oh, god damn it. What's the scaling factor? Ghost, hello. I'm not happy coding at the moment. What's the answer? Do we have some sort of known scale factor? Okay. Well, how long ago were we doing physics? Because there's a sample of this working somewhere where we could move around and we could push barrels. So I was just trying to find that. This is yeah, it's going to be quite a lot. It was before Lua. It might even been before the message bus. So we've got improved wireframe rendering, integrate, add shape wireframe renderer class. It's going to be around here, isn't it? So somewhere around here there'll be a sample. I think it might be around like here. Sorry, that's not the button I want to press. How do I view the code at this commit? Here we go. And then source, and then main. We've got the debug lines here. And we're drawing the AABBs. I think I just need to search for character controller. I'm sure I would have added. Here we go. Here we go. Integrate changes into main. This one. This one. I mean, sure. That's why. No, here's the answer here. We just let it. It's not quite. Yes, we used a 20 scaling factor, but we just set the position afterwards. So that's what we basically let the physics system update where it's going to be, and then we do camera dot set position based on the controller dot position plus vector 3 .0f, whatever. I had some magic number here, 5.0f. But you don't have to worry about keeping these in sync, because you just set one, let it do its calculations, and then something like that. Hope that makes sense. I'd rather than me setting the velocity of the, rather than me trying to adjust the camera and then adjust the capsule separately, I just adjust one, let it do its calculations, and then snap the camera to that position. Ah, sounds good to me. We're in the capsule. There we go. Now we're capsuling. Pretty low to the ground. I might storage massive. Might embiggen myself a little bit. I'll raise myself up a bit. Right. Okay. Now we're capsuling. Lost the other barrel. Where's the other barrel gone? Was it just had others? Why is that now lower? Is that barrel set based on my height? Also, I just want to, I'm pretty sure it's right, but I just want to let the camera do one full circle in the main menu and just check we're not rendering that capsule in the background, because that'd be awkward. Okay, I think we're good there, so let's start this. There we go. I'm kind of poking out the top of it now a bit, but I think that's fine. Is that... I think I'm literally in the dome. Right, okay, that's... I would consider that, like, good enough. Oh, Jesus, don't update that. Move. That's player updates. Character controller. Okay, right. So now the next thing is documentation. Not mine, obviously. Jolt. How does one Jolt physics mesh to collision shape? I'm hoping there's just like a primitive somewhere. Mesh shape settings class, which is serializable version of the shape. You populate the mesh shape settings. I think this is okay to share from the AI overview. You populate the mesh shape settings object with your mesh data, vertices and triangles, and call its create function to generate the optimized mesh shape. Gee. For collision detection. I'm gonna take them out, I think. Hold me back. Okay, here's the mesh shape. So how does one currently shape? If I go box shape, I have to create. So I have my own abstraction, obviously. And that just stores the type. Okay. Box shape to Jolt dimensions. So I just create the Ruben, hello. Okay, right. I think I need a mesh shape of my own abstraction, to which I pass it, I'm hoping, mesh data, which is just a non-owning view over the vertices and the vertices and indices. And then something, an API exists. What's this? What's the constructor? Mesh shape. I think you call create, and this gives you the shape result, and a result is like an optional or something, isn't it? Or a reference or something? I can't quite remember, but I get a vertex list and an index triangle list. So I will have to convert my representation of the world to their representation of the world. Hey, fuck it, let's just start writing some code and just figure it out as we go along. Life's too short. There's an awful lot of boilerplate I've got to do anyway. Source physics. There's a box shape here. Okay, fine. So let's do mesh shape. Easy for me to say. Whatever. Okay, I'm going to want a jolt, and I'm going to want a mesh shape. I don't need that. Don't think I'm going to need that. I think what I'm going to need though is graphics mesh data. Mesh data. Don't need that. We'll need a handle. We'll need a toString. I guess. What the hell is it? Yeah, sure, whatever. And then this will become mesh shape. Orbiters. Yeah, but I'm cross-compiling for Windows, so you know I get the worst of every single world. I'm joking. I don't mind Windows. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. So let's do source physics mesh shape CP. I'll take one of these, copy it in here. An S box shape with mesh shape. Bring that in. Don't need that. I'm sure I'll need ranges at some point. I can see ranges in my imminent future if I need to transform one array type into another. Like how can that not be ranges? But we'll see. Yep, nope. Key. Wasn't key and pass key? No. Oh, that's input key. Why the hell is that? That's a typo. I'll remove that now. I'll probably need the utils at some point. Need the shape, need the error, and then I'm gonna need mesh graphics mesh data. Get rid of some of these until I know I need them. Try and keep my headers reasonably in order. Oh, steady. Mesh data. Add this. One day reflection. Oh, I got it named wrong in the class. Thank you. Nailed it. It depends what you're trying to do, right? Like computers are fast enough that you can, for small tasks, don't you can focus more on the outcome rather than optimizing an algorithm to the nth degree just to get it to run. So okay, let's mesh this up. Can I leave this empty for now? This don't know why I didn't call it mesh. Well, I didn't call it shape, but sure. Mesh. There's not really a lot of information I can provide here, but it sure is a mesh shape. Probably don't even need to format that. Probably just return that. Okay, just to appease the compiler. Maybe unused. It's impossible to say. Then CMake for physics. I guess I don't need sphere shape and cylinder shape. How long have those been commented out for? I did a massive refactor. And I never moved those shapes over. I hate committing commented out code, so they can just go. What game? We're trying to make a little puzzle game, but it, just moving some stuff around, trying to sort of plan out routes and stuff like that. It's not gonna be too complex. I didn't use like a library per se. I just did the raw well, I used Xaudio too, so it's kind of like about reasonably native Win32 code for the audio. No, not Roblox. But I'm trying to do as much stuff from scratch as possible, which means minimizing the amount of libraries I bring in. The concessions I've made are file format parsing code. Like, I have no interest in writing a ping parser, and physics, because I just do not have the effort to write a physics engine, and it would be rubbish if I did. But everything else, graphics, audio, like, guess you could scripting, like we did our own Lua bindings, we integrated Lua manually ourselves, so you can kind of say that. Okay, obviously this won't have any effect because we've not done anything yet. So the game now is at least it blends. So we're gonna want to do create mesh shape, and this is going to have a JPH mesh shape. And then this should go into create mesh shape like that. And then this will take a game mesh data. I'm passing it by value because it's just 2 spans. It's like 4. It's like 4 pointers basically. I suppose I could probably take it by const ref, but it's non-owning data. I'm really not that fussed about it. Alter, hello, glad you're here. Oh, we did the font rendering as well. Yes, that was a journey through the Win32 font rendering system, and boy, was that a thing. So yeah, we did all that. We did the font rendering as well. That was I actually quite enjoyed that. It was fun. It was a little bit difficult, and the results took a while to get where we want to, but I'm very pleased with the results. Alter, I'm glad you're catching me. I'm glad you're here live. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying it. Yep, I use inheritance where I think it makes sense. Inheritance is a tool. It's not like one of those things where, thou shalt. I'm quite pragmatic in my approach to code. I'm very skeptical of any like absolute and dogmatic advice, like thou shalt not use inheritance. Like, it has its place and it's useful. Use it there. No, I have not changed my mind. This is definitely much single player. I'd like to do multiplayer, but that's a future project. This project here is basically a learning opportunity for me to kind of get a grasp of how much I'm capable of doing in the amount of time that I've allocated for this, and to go over a lot of the low-level mechanics of rendering and audio and bit of game design. I don't want to use like the analogy of it being a pancake too much, but like the first one is kind of a throwaway. Like, we're going to make a game from start to finish, and it's going to be the technical definition of a game. Whether it's fun or not, I don't know, but it's very much it's the learning experience that I'm kind of after, and an opportunity to share that with you guys as well. Do I use virtual functions? Yes, again, when it makes sense, absolutely. This is a virtual function here, and then this is an inherited class. The moment I am trying to convert the mesh data into a collision shape in the physics engine so that I can then interact with it. Okay, so if I want to do something like const auto mesh settings equals h mesh shape settings. Okay, and this, I'm really hoping the autocomplete works. Yeah. Okay, so this takes a triangle list, a vertex list, and an indexed triangle list, which I think we have. So a vertex list is a no. Why would you not tell me what the vertex list is? Rude. Absolutely outrageous. Sorry. There's an array of float threes, with the float 3 being a struct, I assume, of x, y, z, and an array being whatever. Oh, if theirs is a range, then we can. Does it have a begin? Does it have a begin and end method? Come on, push back. It's looking good. It does. It's a range. Ah, yes. And then index triangle is an array of indexed triangle. An indexed triangle list is but an array of indexed triangle. An indexed triangle is why does it take 3? Triangle with 32-bit indices. So that's the triangle. Okay, that represents one triangle, each of those 3 indices. So that's fine. We can work with this. So the first argument, which is the vertex list, will be I might do this, doing it all in one line. It's going to be grim. Jolt vertex, what do they call it when it was at home? Vertex list equals mesh data. Oops, steady. Mesh data dot vertices pipe to stirred views transform const auto e return jph float 3 e dot x e dot y e dot z. All right. Pipe 2 stirred ranges. This is gonna be the sweet bit if this works. Ranges to jph array. What's it complain about that? Where have I? Oh, I probably want to close this, don't I? So for file reading, I use mapped files because we had some issues with like large files taking a while, especially with the resources. So I have my own tiny little abstraction over that, which just allows you to read and write files as strings or data, and it just uses the Win32 file mapping under the hood. So that's, but it uses like the vocabulary type through which it communicates to the world is using the std file system. What am I doing wrong? Include Jolt core array. What is actually, I got a vertex data, so that's what I'm iterating over. And that, oh, okay, fine. It's because it's a position. That's fine. Yes, yeah, that is. It's one of those things where I kind of just figure the ownership out as we go along. I'm hoping it won't take a copy of it because it's going to optimize it. Well, it might take a copy of it because it will need to convert it into its own internal representation. So I'm hoping that it does its own transformation into whatever type it needs. Why is it not like that? I feel like that's pretty good. We transform our vertex data, each element in our vertex data, into a float 3, and then from that we convert that to an array. So just clang D. Nope. Oh, is the array not templated on the... Oh, no, it is templated on the type. Interesting. There must be some type deduction rule in the standard because for the standard types you can just put std vector there and it infers the template type. But hey ho, I think that's really nice. I think that is such a great. I know I'm biased, but I think that's a great usage of ranges there. So now we should be able to do so this is going to be maybe, I don't know, I'd have to I know it sounds like I'm a bit disparaging. I don't really care what devs use. You should use whatever tooling helps you drive the business impact you need, or the one that you are kind of most comfortable on. I use Linux at work, and then I use WSL here. So I kind of like the Linux dev environment, but I would never ever say it is like right or in any way look down on someone who uses Windows for dev. Lucas, hello. Okay, so I'm going to need to take, it's going to be slightly more involved. So let's do Jolt index list equals mesh data dot indices pipe to std views. Is it chunk or chunk by? I can basically get it to take blocks of 3. Yeah, I think chunk is what I want. and then pipe that to stud views transform const auto e. So this e will be effectively a tuple of, well, be a range. Sorry, be a range of those, a sub range of those elements. So then I think I can do. What am I going to do? How am I going to access each individual one? Don't I do this in the font rendering? Oh, you can just index them. Nice. Okay. So this will return then whatever their index triangle. Index triangle to, do I want index triangle or index triangle no material? Are they inherited? Not convinced. Not convinced. Oh, he's inherited, so I might be able to get away with it. Because material has no concept in for us in the physics engine. I wonder if material's like, I mean, it's rendering material, but I don't know why the physics engine necessarily cares. Anyway, E0, E1, E1, E2. And then from there, we pipe that again to stud ranges to GPH array JPH. Try index triangle no material and see if it lets me pass that to the constructor. But let's just see if this works first. Check that blends. Check that blends. Nice. Okay, so now I want stud move because I believe this takes us by value. Okay, no, it takes it by reference. That's fine. So that's it. So we can just do. In fact, then my bad. I thought I was going to have to. So it takes it by const ref, which means it won't take ownership of this data, but it is free to make a copy of it if it needs to. Come on. Jolt vertex list. Jolt index list. Yeah, I was worried about this. We might have to just make up the material. No jingoism here. If I have but one rule. Rationalize list to no could convert type arguments container to index triangle list. That's fine. So we'll just see if that works. Yeah, it might. Yes, you're right. Well done. Missed that. Oh, this could work. This could just work straight out of the box. Bish bash bosh. Done. Okay, so let's return mesh settings dot create. How do I get out of a shape? How do I get a shape out of a shape result? Oh, God damn it. Results. Helper class that contains a valid result or an error. So we probably want to check that. But how does one get? Okay, get error has error. Okay, fine. So let's do const auto shape. Very clear how I want these headers included. I really wish it would stop second guessing what I want. Utils error, and oh, gone down way too far. Let's do ensure shape, not shape dot has error. Failed to create mesh shape. Shape dot get error. So assuming that's all hunky dory, we can then just return shape dot get. And that's a reference counted one. Don't I? Can I release it from the reference counting and basically take ownership of it? Class will reference this is the equivalent of a pointer to a type T. If you assign a value to that class, it will increment the reference count by 1 for this object, and if you assign anything else, it will decrease. I guess actually then it doesn't really matter. I just need to return like that. Const reference shape to I'm glad I inspired you. Let me know how you get on, because it sure is interesting. Oh, is it wants it generic, doesn't it? I'll do. Okay. Which means this is be slightly special snowflake, but it's not the end of the world. It's the whole point of abstraction. Stick that there, stick that there. So that should go in there, and then this becomes mesh. Ooh, make my font a little bit smaller. Dot get pointer. Nailed it. Yes, it's so it knows to put it in the register. And that'll work. So now, where do we load all this? I want to go through each level entity. Where do I get them? Level entity names. So do I get those from the resource cache? I get the mesh E, that's fine. I could stick it in here, but that's really gross. Does this have access mesh have access to the mesh data? I can't remember if we changed this. It does. Nice. Okay, so that's easy. So what we should be able to do here is do ps dot create shape. Physics mesh shape. Mesh shape, and then into this put ent dot mesh data. This is going to effectively leak these for now. I just wanted to see if this works. We'll need to store them later, and then when we load another level, undecided. I think we might need to. We could do it on game load actually, yeah, to see if it works. We might need to abstract how the level is loading anyway, because when we load another level, there's no point throwing away all that scene mesh data just to recreate it again, because every level is the same. So, but we'll see. There's also I believe there's no way of handing those collision shapes back to the physics engine at the moment. There's no way of saying I'm done with these. That's a crash. Why have we... crashed? Open recent game. Okay. Ah, there we go. Right, sorry. I rebooted my machine earlier and it had not remounted my WSL to the Z drive. Can I just... It's smart enough just to do this. No, actually I decided I don't want that because it's going to open up in WSL, isn't it? That's abort. Projects, game. Let's open this up. Hoping it's got the VS Code jazz in it that I need. So it should be, I should be able to go here, run the game, hope for the best. Yeah, I have heard of it. I'm just quite happy using this. I should explore better with better tooling. I feel like this should have printed. Oh, it's crashed in. Yeah. Well, this VS Code instance is running natively on Windows, and it's just pointed at the files in the WSL file system, but it's still running them, effectively treating them locally. So as far as this is concerned, this is all Windows, because I cross-compile it for Windows anyway. So it probably would work. But anyway, for now, let's see if we can solve this problem. So this is unhappy. Oh, how fascinating. How fascinating. It'll assert, if you call get error on, if you call get error, it will assert that it does indeed have an error. But here, I suspect it is building this string first, or at least regardless of whether this, I imagine this is unconditionally executed regardless of this. Fascinating. I'm surprised we've not come across that before in something else. But for now, That is indeed a foot gun. How exciting. How exciting. Okay, right. Moment of truth. Absolutely FA. Was potentially a scaling issue again. Let's what am I doing? The level. Let's not render anything, and let's just see if I get that line data. I'm expecting it might be massive or tiny, but hopefully should still see the green lines or the whatever color lines they are for static. I don't know if I can mark those as static as well, because it's not going to move. I'm expecting to see the debug lines for it because it's been added to the system, right? In the same way that we've created the AAB box shape. See, these AAB boxes get rendered, right? Because we've created shapes for them, and those shapes have gone into the... Unless I'm missing a step, right, which could very well be the case. So let's just go to physics system. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, you're right. Where do we do that? Oh, that's lame. I really feel like the... Oh, that is really lame. Should the physics engine handle this for us? That's because it's got the transformed shape, isn't it? So it knows. This was the problem we had before, is that you could add... Yes, I remember now. You could add the shape to the physics engine, the physics system, and it would know... It would have no concept of its position because you might be moving around. Because we're not... Because we're not updating the entities via impulses, we're effectively just translating them and then resolving the collisions ourselves. The physics system has no concept of where they are in the real world. This is easy. Don't we just let me just add more state. Just add more state. So this will have a shape level geometry. Actually, that probably should be level physics shapes. And then down here, which will get rid of the leak effectively, kind of. No, actually it won't, but what about that later? And then down here, we can then do auto shape. It's technically a pointer, isn't it? In level physics shapes. Shape. How does this work? Oh wow, wow, that is gross. That's why I need to turn it into a transform shape then to kind of get the same advantage. Shape. Yes. Where is their position? I think the position is empty because I don't move them around. They are all offset. They are all relative to the same. Sorry, their model space all has effectively the same relative origin. I.e., they are all placed where they should be relative to their own origins. When you render them, it kind of works. Yeah. See, let's see what happens. Ah, physics. Oh, it's chugging a little bit. I probably don't need collision shapes on the lamps. I probably can strip down to a subset of these. And the scale is wrong. That's pretty cool. Nice. What's my scale? I feel like this is known. This is like a known magic number somewhere. So I think we can probably put this back. I think it's 10. Isn't that the barrel scale there is 10? That was actually surprisingly easy. Like, I shouldn't be, but I'm a little bit surprised all that ranges stuff just worked. Like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you might be right. Oh, that's really slow. Oh, that is not optimized at all. Scott, thank you very much. Very kind of you. It's now actually a little bit too high. God, that's slow. Does it speed up if I like move away from it? Nah, it's just slow. I definitely just need a subset of these. I just need the walls. Like, there's no one. Look how complex that shape is for that lamp. No one needs that level of fidelity on an object I'm never going to hit. So that's is this a delta that I apply, like an offset? What I really should do is open up the level in Blender and then create for every single object a approximated physics shape, which is just boxes, like combined boxes. If I needed that level, that was what I'd probably do. I'd have a proxy level. but I don't. I have no plans on colliding with those lamps. I think I'm just going to go through and I don't even need the floor because there's no jump mechanic or anything. We can literally just have the walls and the pillars. Have I gone too far? I think it might just be one. Yeah, about 9 months. This is ooh, hang on. This is stream number 77. Nice palindrome. I'm just going to create a sub list of objects that we want to turn into colliders, basically. I'm pretty impressed. Like, I mean, Jolt said it was going to optimize it, and I'm not. I mean, who knows how slow it'd be otherwise, but I'm pretty impressed at how easy that was. I feel like I'm not making... No, do I need to go down more? Yeah, I need to go down more. So I'm just kind of filling with random magic numbers now. Let's... we can fix that in a minute. Let's do... Ooh, annoying. How am I gonna? What's the best way of communicating this? Because I've now lost. By the time I've converted this to an entity, I think entity needs to change as well because this owns the transformed shape, but I've just called it a bounding box. But presumably there is nothing in there to make it so. So really, that's it. I just created random boxes around it because I needed to fulfill the API. So actually, I think I'm kind of. I'm kind of there, right? Mesh. Mesh data. Well, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? Got a type mismatch somewhere. Bleh, thanks. Oh my goodness, thanks, C++. What is outrageous? Cannot convert from T to transform shape. Oh, okay, fine. Yes, that is. You are right. No, you're wrong. Const auto mesh equals resource cache dot get mesh. We'll pop that out, and then we should be able to do mesh here. Then this should just be mesh data. Why is... Oh, hang on, am I missing like... I need the transform as well, which would be the scale, which means I then shouldn't have to adjust it at the end? Question mark? Sorry, it's a little bit... What's a transform when it's at home? A position... There we go. There. Oh, still doesn't like that. What was it before? Create the shape, and then you create a transform. Oh, is it past scale rotation? Thank you. Well, when it's at home, it's just a phrase I've just always heard around, just like family stuff. Like, what does that mean when it's at home? It's like, what does that mean? Under, like, you know, for me, who's unfamiliar with the concept. Twitch and YouTube numbers getting close. Getting close. Oh. So what's happened now is the error message is there, but I've locked the mouse, so I can't actually get it. So luckily I can hit abort. What did it not like about that? Intersects frustrum. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's gonna have a terrible time with because that's why it's a bounding box, because it's used for frustrum. Oh, what a miserable refactor this is going to be. It needs an optional additional collider, the entity. It needs to have a box shape for frustruming, and then it needs to have an additional higher res collider shape on top of it. So what it needs to do is that is such a big bit of work. It's actually not that bad. All right, so what I need to basically do is have... What do we have before? Where was the original box shape? So I want something like that. And then have... so it has an additional status. So you can use the bounding box, but if you want something more finer grained, you can then use that, which then means we have... like that, and then somewhere in here we will have collider, third optional transform shape. That's like a quick last minute absolute frantic refactor. You just have to differentiate the last two parameters to entity. I mean, I guess semantic, like I guess the implied contract that you always have to have a bounding box, but you might optionally provide something different, like extra. I guess. Yeah, it's this is near him. So now if we go down to here, I don't think we need this anymore. And then basically so it's, why does that create a new oh, is that so I can offset it? I was like, why is it creating a new? What I'm saying is like, why is this not drawing entities I dot bounding box? Like, why is it not? Oh, sorry, hang on, that's the wrong way around, isn't it? Entities I dot you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I'm creating a new. There's obviously a reason I'm doing that, but I don't understand why. $191. Oh, of course. This will now need that. Because I've got added that extra arguments to entity. So where else have I used this? No, wait a minute. That's got it. Why is it not liking that? Make optional. This is a transform shape. Ooh. Grim. Right, where are we at now? Mesh shape, memory comments. Give me my file. Lua level 180. Still here. Why is it? I did 1 or 2 Ghidra live streams after a big video on that. I then did the following live stream where I just kind of went through the video, recreated some of my thought process, answered questions. I'd be tempted to do it again because it's normally quite fun. Currently I have no real, in the nicest possible way, desire to do a reverse engineering stream, because a lot of it, if you think this is just me staring at the screen, bashing my head, you should see what it's like in some of the reverse engineering ones. I would consider myself better at C++ than I am with RE. So I just don't think it'd be particularly engaging. And some for the RE stuff, like sometimes I just need to just block out some time and just stare really hard at it. So I don't think it would make a particularly good stream. 9180, thank you. Glad someone's paying attention, because my brain is dead. Ooh. Oof. Main menu routine. 83. That's in place back, isn't it? So, stood not. All right. That work? Yes, I need to do that. I've not, but I will. I don't know how yet, but that is on the to-do list. Yeah, I don't know why all that was about. Okay, fine. So that's that. So now that was hopefully that was a good refactor. So here I basically want to do if const auto static collider equals, this needs to be, what is max when it's at home? Oh, I need to use it there. Fine. I just don't understand why this is not for const auto entity in entities, right? Entity dot static collider. Static collider. Static collider. Oh, no. Get there in a minute. Oh, I don't like the way that's silent. That quickly changes before I can get there. Draw ps dot debug renderer. Else so basically If there's a static collider, we should render that as part of the debug, else we should just do whatever box it's got around it. It's all gone. I don't know why. Like, it's definitely there. Also, why is this not? Like, what? That seems weird. That should be like a one-liner. But anyway. Wasn't there somewhere I was... What's happening here? So that's... Yeah, that's where the barrel's been pushed back. And then... I convert them there, and then that's it. I go through all these. And they get pushed on the back of there. That's something like stood ranges copy level entities stood inserter I think not entities. Whatever. I can rule that. That should be arranged, but anyway, that's not the problem I'm trying to solve at the moment. Where? Unless is it a scale issue again? No, because I've got the scale there and the position's fine. How strange. Curiouser and curious. Oh, no. Oh, I do. Okay, fine. I thought I'd been stupid and not moving it in. I definitely move it in. Let's see if I can get constructed with it. Because if not being constructed with it, then we are out of luck. I will probably need to wrap this up soon-ish. But let's see if we can at least get to the bottom of this. So transform shape, it's a good point. We will... So it's been constructed with it. Transformed shape. Takes a generic shape. And I think everything in here assumes that. So I don't think... There's not really a lot in transform shaped. So I think it's kind of okay. We will want to mark this as static at some point, I suspect, though, and then have a different color. But oh wait, well, no, I'm being stupid, aren't I? What the hell was I just printing that for? Well, obviously, it's being constructed. Full. I actually want to load the level. There's lots of things that could potentially not work. So we definitely... So this is the text that we create for the main menu, for the game. So after that, it definitely has a static collider here for these objects. I wonder if I've got a dangling reference or something. I wonder if I got a lifetime issue because it's returned by value. Although it is const ref, so it should do lifetime extension of that reference as it's const. Well, see, it's not lagging like it was when it was drawing them before, so I'm going to kind of assume it is not drawing them. Let's transfer shape draw. We're not doing anything other than just changing the scale. So I was expecting them all to be shifted up slightly. So did I even see? It's not. Something strange. I don't understand why between here and here, all these entities suddenly lose their extra member that we've just added. They're definitely constructed with them here. We know that because the constructor prints out that they've been passed in. We stick them all in the scene entities. And then by the time we get down here... Sorry, where it is? It's gone? Oh. There's a difference between entities and scene entities, isn't there? I might change... I need to review all that stuff. There's so much stuff in Entity now. I think theme might be better off tracking static entities separate to dynamic entities, just generally. So it has two separate lists of entities. I think that might be the play. And then, yeah, I think that might be the play. I think so, yeah. There we go. That code is cleaner now because it doesn't do that. It sort of is a bit simpler. I was doing some extra bookkeeping for no reason. Cool. I'm going to comment this up. We've done quite a lot. A shape type, remove old include, it's not even old, it's remove unneeded include, unneeded two ends? It is, nailed it. So entity can have optional static collider, and then render level collision data. So that was stream 76. I will do a build. Actually, it's not particularly good state, but I think it's I like to be able to do a build when I can. What version? 40 stream 77. Stick that in the git hole. Get out of there. Oh, steady. Start to build. Okay, so while that builds, because it takes a while, I'll do a completely fresh build and run the tests and package it all up, and then I'll stick on GitHub, which will then send an alert to Discord. And if anyone wants to give it a try, they should. I see a few people have tried it and they have issues. I've not forgotten those. I'm just not in the kind of user bug fixing phase yet. I'm sort of collecting user data at the moment. Other than that, what I would say is next. Oh, I'm not streaming Wednesday. I'll try and put something out on Discord, and I'll put something out on YouTube as well. I'm not around this coming Wednesday, but we shall continue the following Sunday in 7 days' time. Mark your calendars. 7 days' time, we will finish doing the player collider and maybe refactor some of the entity code, because it's just become a grab bag of all the state that I need, which maybe that's what it needs to be. Sorry, refactor the scene. Just Kevin, I'm trying to build a game from scratch in C++ and OpenGL. Unfortunately, you have caught literally the last minute of the stream, so apologies, but come back next Sunday. I stream every Wednesday and Sunday, but not this Wednesday, so almost every Wednesday and Sunday. I'm beat. It's been a long weekend. I am going to go and have a beer and chill out. I'll hang around on Discord if anyone wants to chat. Otherwise, I will catch you all anon.